Hello students, welcome. The poem Road Not Taken by Robert Frost is the first poem from your English textbook Beehive. In this poem, the road symbolizes our life and the choices that we did not take makes the road not taken. In this poem, Robert Frost wants us to understand the importance of making the right choices. If we end up making the right choice, it will have a positive impact on our life. But if we make a wrong choice, we can only regret. We cannot go back and change our decision. It's a very important poem. So let us go on and learn more about it. The Road Not Taken, Robert Frost. Recitation of the poem The Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. And now we'll take a look at the summary. Once again, let me read this for you. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. This is the first stanza of the poem, and the words that you will have to take a look at are diverged, which means separated and took a different direction. Yellow wood is a forest with decomposing leaves. Undergrowth means dense growth of plants and bushes. So what does this paragraph mean? Let's take a look at this. Stanza 1, Summary. The poet was walking down a road, and then there was a diversion. There were two different paths, and he had to choose one out of them. The poet could travel on one road only. He had to choose one out of these two roads. Yellow wood means a forest with leaves that have turned yellow in color. The season of autumn. The poet looked at the path very carefully, as far as I could see. Before taking the path, he wanted to know how it was. Will it suit him or not? He was able to see the path till from where it curved, after which it was covered with trees and was hidden. It happens in our lives also when we have choices. We have alternatives, but we have to choose only one out of them. We take time to think about the pros and cons, whether it is suitable for us or not, and only then we take a decision on what path we should choose. Second stanza. Then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was a grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. Fair here means as good as the other one. Claim means a better option. Grassy here means unused. Wanted where means had not been used. Summary of stanza 2. The poet kept on looking at one path for a long time to decide if it is the right path for him. But he decided to walk on another path because he felt that both paths were equally good. He says just as fair, so he felt that both paths were equally good and he chose one. He says that maybe the path he chose was better for him, so he chooses it, as it had grass and leaves on it, which means that it was unused. Not many people had walked on this path earlier. That is why this path was grassy. And wanted wear means that it was not disturbed by people walking on it. It was the road less traveled. After he walked on the path for some distance, he realized that both the paths had been worn out the same way. Even in our life, whatever path we choose, all of them have some benefits, advantages, disadvantages, problems, challenges, and we must face them. Stanza 3. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, and knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Trodden here means walked over. Summary of stanza 3. The poet says that both the paths seemed similar that morning. Both had leaves on them and no one had stepped on them as they were still green in color. He decided that he will choose one path and he would take the other path on another day. Although he knew that one way leads to another, he knew that he could not go back on the choice that he had made. Similarly, even in our life, once we make a decision, we must keep on moving ahead with that option and we don't get a chance to come back and take the other option that we had left earlier. Fourth stanza. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Sigh here means deep breath. Hence here means in the future. Summary of stanza 4. The poet says that in his future he will say that once upon a time he had reached a point in his life that he had two options for him, and he travelled on that road which had been travelled upon by lesser number of people. And it is this decision of his that has made all the difference in his life. Similarly, in future, when you grow up, then you will always have options to make the right choice. The choice that you make will make your future a great one. This is a beautiful message for all the students that you should be wise and be careful while making choices out of the options that you have in your life, because your future depends on the choice that you make today.